Generally, when I'm up and about, I use Apple Pay to pay for pretty much anything, whether it's paying for the train or the bus or even in the supermarket. But for some reason, 2 weeks ago, my Apple Pay wasn't working. So I started looking for my bank card. I looked for it everywhere and I couldn't find it. So I so happened to come across an ad for the Ridge wallet. So I started looking at it, and at first I thought, do I really need it? And then I thought, okay, let me buy it. It was on a massive discount because of Black Fridays. So I just kept on going back and forth. Eventually, I ended up buying it. So here it is, the Ridge wallet. And I like this because I can track it, because I've actually bought a tracking card. But anyway, as I was leaving the page, I noticed this page right here. And this is a lead generation page. So I thought to myself, okay, I use Divi to design websites, and I'm sure as freelancers, these are one of those opportunities that you can pitch to your clients to design a website that collects leads for them. Because this is one of those situations where you have a website that produces value. It's not just a website that showcases a product or just a nice looking website, but it actually brings in leads. So when I saw this, I decided, you know what? Let me show you how to create the complete system of a lead generation website. So that's what I'm going to show you today. My hosting that I highly recommend is Hostinger. Now, I've been using this and I'm promoting them as well. And if you purchase this using my affiliate link, that'll be really, really awesome. I have some bonuses for you as well. Just let me know once you've purchased your hosting. So this hosting company is fantastic because the UI, the speed, the customer service, it's fantastic, especially if you're a freelancer or a design agency. So to get started, all you need to do is to come over here to claim deal. Now, at the moment, they have a huge discount, 83% off, and you also get that if you use my affiliate link. So when you get to this page, what you want to do is to choose the package that works for you. Now, what I highly recommend is the 50 websites, because you have quite a lot of websites to design, and you could just use this as a way of designing websites for your clients. So all you have to do is to click here on choose plan. Now, by the way, you also have a free custom domain, which is really, really good. So let's go ahead and click on choose plan. So when you choose plan, it takes you now to the page where you need to decide what period you want to have this. So there's 48 months here, and there's 24 months, 12 months, 1 month. So with this, I usually go with the highest, the 48 months. Because if you're going to you'll be having your websites here, I mean, there's no need to, have them on there and then renew it and all of that. It's just too much hassle. And besides, you're getting a massive discount anyways. So here I'm saving $753.60. That's massive. But if you're on a bit of a tight budget and you want to go with, let's say, 24 months, I mean, it goes down to $95.76. What the hell is that? Cats. Anyway, so it goes down to $95.76. So when you're happy with that, you just click on continue. Now remember, you get a free domain, 100% free. So this stage now is where you get to add your billing information. You want to add your first name, last name, the country of residence, the phone number, the address, and so on. And if you have a registered company, you could actually come over here, add your company name, and also the VAT number. So once you're done with that, you can click on continue. So at this stage now, this is where you get to make your payment. And there's several payment options. So there's PayPal, there's Google Pay, there's Apple Pay, and there's also these ones here, Alipay, China, Hong Kong, and so on. So when you're ready, you can either use PayPal or Google Pay, or even enter your credit card details over here. Now, once you're done with that, you're going to get an email with all your login details. So once you get your email, you log into your dashboard and it will look like this. So this is where now you get to start creating your domains or your websites. So all you need to do now is to come over here to websites, and this will give you a list of all your websites on Hostinger. So far I have these two. So I'm going to go ahead and create a brand new website. So to do that, you want to click here on add website. It's going to be a WordPress website. So I'm going to click here and it's asking me now for an administrator password. So I'm going to go in and enter it. Click next. Now I have these two options: create a website with AI or pre-built websites and themes. Now I want to create a blank website because we're going to be using Divi for this. So I'm going to go ahead and click on blank site. And for this, I normally use a temporary domain, and this is exactly what you want to do because you can design the complete website and then hand it over to your client once everything is done. So I'm going to say use temporary domain. Now in a moment, it's going to start installing WordPress for me, and it's going to have that username and password that I entered the previous stage. So you just have to remember that when you create these websites. Okay, so our website is complete. You can see everything has been installed here. So the next thing you want to do is to install Divi 5 because that's the page builder that we're going to use. It's modern, it's fast, and it is pretty much easy to use. But of course, if you do have any issues, you can just let me know and I'll do my best to help you with Divi 5. And also, by the way, if you want to learn how to use Divi, I have a course for $27. It's called the Divi 5 Mastery. But of course, I'll give that away to you for free if you purchase Hostinger or if you purchase Divi using my affiliate link. All right, so the next step now is to come over here to appearance and then themes. So this is where I am going to install Divi 5. Next, you want to click on add theme and then upload. Now I've already gone ahead and downloaded Divi 5, so I just need to find it on my computer. So I know it's in my downloads folder here, and here it is. This is the latest version, and then I want to say open. Next, I'm going to say install now, and this now is going to go through the process of installing Divi 5. Next, I have to go ahead now and activate. So now that it's activated, the last step with Divi here is to go in and activate my license, but I'm not going to do that right now. The next step now is to look for an image that works for our design. So I'm going to come over here, and this is Unsplash, by the way. So I want to look for something that's to do with shopping. So I think this will be a good image right here, and maybe even this could be good as well. So I'm going to go with this one. Okay. Next, I'm going to come over here to the top and just choose the size that works for me. And I think 1920 by 1280 is perfect. Okay, so that's downloaded now. I need to now upload that image onto my computer so onto my website so I can use that image on my site. All right, so I want to come over here now to media, and then I want to click on library. At the moment, there should be nothing. In fact, there's nothing here in my media library. So if I say add media and then select files, this is going to take me to my downloads folder where I have this downloaded file. I'm going to say open. Great. So now that I have this, I'm pretty much ready to go. The next step now is to create our page. So I'm going to come over here and say add page. So this page can be named pretty much anything. I'm just going to call it promo, but you can call yours whatever you want. So I'm just going to press in here. Okay, promo. And then I'm going to say use Divi Builder. Okay, great. So now we have this basic header and we also have this basic footer. But if we take a look here on this ridge page, right, on this opt-in page, we don't have a header and a footer. And this is very, very important because you don't want any distractions. The main goal for this page is to collect emails. That's what we want. So back over here on my site, I'm now going to pretty much publish this page. Okay. And let's start by adding our background image because we're going to come back to this page because we're going to need a few elements to make this work. So I want to click in here in my section settings. And then I'm going to come over here to background. Click inside here. So what we need in the background is our image. So I'm going to click on this third tab and then click on this plus button to upload the image. Now remember, we uploaded it a few moments ago. So it's right here in the media library. Okay, there we go. I'm going to select it. And then I want to say upload image. So now we can see our images right there in the background. The next step now is we want this to fill up the whole screen. So to do that, you want to make sure that you click here on section settings, and then you want to go to design sizing. So what we need here is the height. So I'm going to set this to 100 VH. Hit enter, and now we have a full screen of this page. Now I know the header and footer is distracting me, so let's go ahead and fix that issue right away. So I'm going to save this for now. Okay, and then I'm going to hit exit. All right, so with my page still here, I'm going to go into my WordPress admin dashboard, and then we're going to come all the way down here to Divi, and then I'm going to go to theme builder. Okay, so in the theme builder, I'm going to click here on this plus button and build a brand new template. And I'm just going to close out of it. In fact, you know what? Let's just select the page itself. So remember, it's our promo page. So I'm going to make sure I select it here and then create template. So what we need now is to make sure that the header and footer is disconnected by clicking those eye icons. So this page here, the reason why we targeted promo is because this is the page where we don't need the header and the footer on. It's very, very important. The second thing is, while we're here, is to have a look at our main site. So I'm going to open this in a new tab so you can see what I mean. If I open this on a new tab, it's going to default to a blog page like this, and that's not what we want. We want our main landing page to be an actual page, not a blog page. So back over here, we are going to go to settings, reading. Okay, so now it's asking me to leave. So what I'm going to do is to first of all save everything here, and then I'm going to come back to settings, reading, and then we want to set up a static page, and I want my static page to be the promo page. Okay, so this is how you're going to have this main page as the promo page. I'm going to hit save changes, and now when we come back to our site and refresh, this should be a page without the header and the footer. Let's see that. There we go. So now we have the header. We don't have the header and the footer. It's just a blank page. Okay, so at this stage, we want now to stylize our homepage. So we're going to go back to all pages. So the page that we need to work on here is the promo page that we started off with. So I'm going to go in and say edit with Divi. Okay, so now that I have this, we can now start adding all our elements onto this page. Now, the danger of starting off like this is sometimes you may not be able to see where you're going to add your content. For example, this is where you add the row, but of course, if you want to first start off without the image, so you can align everything beforehand, you can also do that. But anyway, so here's what you need to do. You click here on this plus button, but if you can't see it, as I mentioned before, you can go to the background. So make sure you're on the section, you go to the background, and then you can disable the image by coming over here, and now you can see it. So then you can go in and say, okay, we want now to add an equal column, and in this column we want to add an email opt-in. So you're going to do that. But as you can see, there's a lot going on here and we need to customize it. So the first thing I'm going to do is to get rid of all this text, and I also need to get rid of this title here. I prefer designing this on its own, and there's also a few things that I need to get rid of, which is the fields, and it is the last name and the first name I need to get rid of. And then this button here, it says subscribe. So what we may need to do with that subscribe button is to say get your discount. In fact, let's see what this says. Unlock offer. Okay. So we can say get your discount or unlock offer, just like how they have it. So in this case, I need to look for my texts. Okay, I thought this is where I had it. All right, anyway, we'll come back to this where we can customize the button because I can't see it right away where it is. But anyway, it's fine. The next thing we need to do is to remove the background because we don't need the background in this case. So we're going to come over here and remove the background for this form. Remember, it's the background for the form. Now back on this main section here, let's bring back our image. So I'm going to go to this tab, click on this plus button and select our image one more time. and then upload. Okay, so now we have our image. We also have the opt-in, right? But the issue is the image here is overpowering. So we need to adjust that quickly. So with that now, I'm going to go back to my background here and add a white color. Okay, so I'm just going to drag this to the top and make sure that it's white. Close out of here, and then back over here on the background image, I'm going to choose a blending mode, and it is going to be lighten. So you'll notice that everything is gone, right? It looks like there's nothing there. The good thing about this trick is if you come back onto the background and click anywhere in here and drag down the slider, you can start to see the image coming through. Do you see that? So I think we're going to go with maybe 60. But of course, depending on the image that you have, you can set up, whatever works for you. Okay. So I think that works fine. Now, the next thing I need to do is to make sure that this email opt-in here is centered on my page. So to do that, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to design, layout, and then I'm going to center this. Now you can see it's in the center, which is fantastic. We also need the text that's going to go with this. Okay, so we're going to click here on this plus button, and I'm going to add a heading. And then in this heading here, I'm just going to say get 10% off. Okay, so mine is simple, get 10% off today. Now I need that centered, so I'm going to come over here, go to my heading text, and then center it like that. Next, I just need this above, so I'm just going to drag it like that. So now it is above. All right, so we have a contrast issue here because white, and we have a very bright background and so on. So what I may do here is to just go into my row settings and add a background color. So I'm going to come over here and add a background color. Now, the reason why I'm doing this is because we want to make sure that this information here is easy to read. Okay, it's very important that we do that. So now that I have my color, I'm going to add a bit of transparency, just a slight, maybe about 72, maybe even higher. Okay, let's go 80. Okay, so we just added a bit of transparency there. So now we also need to add a bit of text in here just to make the whole thing make a lot of sense. Okay, so now that I've added a bit of text in here and also the 10%, I need to add some breathing space to this main opt-in. So I'm going to go now to design, spacing, and I'm going to set this to, let's say, 3 rem. Okay, so that's at the top, bottom, and then I'm also going to do left and right. Okay, so I think that's looking much better. I'm also going to come over here to the border and add a bit of rounded corners. So I'm going to go with 6. And then finally, I just need to change the color of my text because right now it doesn't look good. So I'm going to click in here and go to my heading text. And first of all, I need to make it bold actually, because I really want it to stand out. Okay, so that, and then I'm also going to adjust my color here. So I'm going to go with something like that. And then over here as well, I'm going to do the same, go to my text and then set this to 1 rem. Now, in these cases, normally I would use my spacing scale, my design framework, but for the purposes of this tutorial, I'm just adding in numbers, but ideally you want to be using a framework for this, okay? All right, so now that I have that set, I'm going to say save. The next step now is adding the email marketing automation software. Now, there's several out there. There's ConvertKit, MailChimp, and so on. But the one I really, really like is, well, in fact, before I do that, let me just go in and change the color of my text here. There we go. So the one that I really, really, really like is called Fluent CRM. So let's go ahead and install this. So I'm going to come over here. Let's go back to our site. And what we need is our plugins. So I'm going to say add plugin, and then I'm going to search for the free version of Fluent CRM. Oops. Okay, there we go. So that's Fluent CRM. I'm going to go ahead and install now. Now, of course, at this stage, you can also use ConvertKit or any of those softwares that you can use to set all this up. Next, you want to come over here now to Fluent CRM and click anywhere in here because we are going to do the onboarding. So I'm going to quickly say not right now. The next step now is to create my tag. So I'm going to now come over here to create my tag. I'm going to click on this plus button. Now the tag is very important because when someone signs or fills in the form, you want to be able to give them a tag, because when you send emails out, you can target that tag to send the emails out to everyone with that tag. So I'm going to call this tag opted for discount. So now I'm specific because I now know what this is about. So opted for discount is the tag. Then I'm going to say create. Excellent. So now that my tag is created, I'm now going to go back over here and connect my email marketing opt-in form with my tag. So I'm just going to refresh this quickly. Right. So with this selected now, I can set this up by coming over here to email account and then choosing from the list, which is right here. I'm going to go for Fluent CRM. And here it is. Okay. Now it's asking me to select a list. Okay, that's fine. We might as well create a list from here as well. So I'm going to go to lists, and then I'm just going to call this list here leads. Or I can also call it opted for discount. In fact, let's just call it opted for discount so things are easier. Okay, opted for discount. And I'm also going to do the description as well over here, because this just helps me know what this is about. Okay, so that's my list. I also have a tag, which is great. Back over here now, I'm just going to save and refresh. It's important that I do that because then this is still connected. Okay, so with this selected, I'm now going to go to email account, and then where it says select the list, well, it's not showing. Let's try one more time. Okay, so it's time now to select my list. So I'm going to go in, and you can see here I have my list and I also have my tag. So I'd rather go for the tag option. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to add. You can give this an account name and submit. So let's just call this Mac. Okay, let's call this Mac 2. Okay, so now I can say fetch. I'm going to save that. I'm going to do a quick preview and see if this page is showing. Okay, fantastic. So you see now that my page is now showing. I can go in here and add my email and hit subscribe. Okay, so what we need to do next is to just stylize this a little bit. So I'm going to go into my variable manager and then go to my fonts. So this is where I'm going to change my headings to pop-ins, but of course you can choose whatever font you want. And then for my body, I'm going to go with Inter. Oops. Okay, there we go. I'm going to select that and then save. Apply changes, and then I'm going to save and refresh this page. Okay, so when I hit preview, you can see now that this is looking much, much better. So I can go in now, add my email address. So I'm going to say mac@maketa.co.uk. Then if I hit subscribe, you can see here it says success, but of course we can go in and update this message to say whatever we want. So now when I go into the website, so I'm going to go to my dashboard here, and let's say it's your client now that wants to see what's happening. They would go to the dashboard, and you can see here we have one lead. And if you want to see who that is, you'd come over here to all contacts, and you can see Mac@Maketa is there. I mean, how cool is that? Now, if I go into this actual name, you can see the tag that I have is opted for discount. So when it comes to automating the whole system now, this is where you need the pro version. So on automations here, you can actually add an automation and decide what you want to do once that person has signed up. So for example, you may want to send a quick email. So you'd come over here and then say, Okay, anyway, we can't do anything because if we wanted to add an email, this has to be a pro version. Okay, so yeah, basically we can't do a follow-up email. But if you wanted to purchase Fluent CRM, I have a link in the video description below. Oops, I went to Fluent Cards. Fluent Card is also awesome, by the way. Go to Fluent CRM, and they have a sale, and it's going to finish in 11 hours, by the way. So you want to make sure that if you're watching this today, go ahead and grab that discount. It's 40% off. The link to that is also in the video description below. So if I go to Pro versus free, this one here is $77 a year for one site, and then this is for 5 sites and so on. This is very, very powerful because when you design websites for your clients and you can create something as basic as this to showcase that you can give them leads, and then all they have to do is to follow up. This is one of those type of websites that you need to be creating. So go ahead, try it out, and let me know what you think. Until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care.